I got chance to know about Dato is currently working on the Waqf digital Islamic Waqf bank a few weeks ago. Then our Department of Economics, we have one research Center for Islamic Economics headed by Dr. Mustafa Uma. Is also working on a similar project on Waqf. Then it clicked my mind to invite Dato to give us a sharing session so that we can learn from the practical side of the Waqf Islamic bank from the established corporate finance banker. Without further ado, I will invite Dato to start his sharing session. And inshallah, after the sharing section, we'll open up the floor for asking questions or giving input to this topic. Okay, welcome, Dato Amin.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And very good morning. Is very honored to be invited to give a presentation on the Waqf banking framework. But before I proceed with the discussion, I got to qualify myself. I'm not an expert in Waqf, so I'm just a practitioner, and that is an advantage because probably I will have a broader perspective on the application of concept of Waqf within the banking industry. So today I would like to really limit the topics because I think Waqf or Islamic finance, the topic is broad. To handle it within 1 hour, probably we need to probably limit or narrow down the topic of discussion. And today, probably I would like only to talk about the concept and the practices of Waqf within the future banking industry. I will not really go into engaging into the Waqf legal framework within Malaysia, because first, I'm not an expert and I'm not an authority on to discuss on the legal framework. Probably the Majid agama or religious councils and the rest will be more familiar, or the academician will be more familiar in the legal framework. So my topic today strictly within the concept of Waqf and its practices in future banking industry. Second is I would like to stress on the goal we want to achieve, because there is some earlier question in our earlier engagement. People are questioning us whether we are creating a new banking framework for Waqf Bank on top of the existing banking framework on Islamic finance, IFSA. So I think I would like to really look into this, that we are not creating any new law or banking act or banking regulation to place our Waqf bank. We will be still operating within the IFSA framework of the Bank Negara Malaysia. So we will not introduce any new guideline or framework away from the IFSA. What our interest is the application of a Waqf framework within the IFSA, especially the goal that we want to achieve by narrowing down our banking framework within the Waqf framework rather than the broad IFSA framework. So I think that is the second topic. Probably the third is I want to see how the input, why is important about this banking or a Waqf banking framework within the concept of achieving the framework of Maqasid Syariah, to the goal of to preserve, I mean, to hold to the faith, protection of faith, protection of life, protection of intellect, protection of lineage, and protection of property, harta. So within this, how can we actually look at digital bank playing that role within the concept, within the framework of Maqasid Syariah? I think these are probably three areas that I would like to deal today within the 1 hour. The interest of our team when we put forward Waqf Bank, basically we see that there is a lot of weaknesses or the effect, the negative effect of the conventional banking. Even within the concept of IFSA, the Islamic bank, there is still a lot of voices being raised about fairness and justice within the Islamic banking system, or even worse still, the conventional system. So that's how I think the idea of to pursue an approach to a banking through a Waqf concept, so that we can provide an alternative solution to the contemporary problems due to the weakness in the conventional banking and the existing IFSA banking system. Especially in the area of interest-bearing products, and the customer focus, where small unprofitable customers are being neglected. Being a bank, we cannot blame them. Profitability is the focus of all business setup. But all these issues has given a lot of voices coming out within the public, requesting probably an improved version of a banking system to assist the small people. So and today I was given the topic bank for shared prosperity. I think shared prosperity is the basic fundamental of Waqf, right? So class, ethnic background, economic class are not part of the main issues in Waqf banking framework or Waqf framework. So everybody is considered as should be having a fair share of prosperity and justice. I think that's the fundamental. We go to the next slide, please. You can see that the principle and the values of Waqf Bank, I will not say Waqf as a whole. Now we narrow down really on what we want to actually put the pillars within the Waqf Bank. The first, I think, very key is wealth creation and wealth distribution. So in many conventional institutions, they talk mainly on wealth creation. And as a result, the gap between the rich and the poor are getting bigger and bigger. And I think for the world itself, they say that 5% probably of the wealth are, the biggest part of the wealth are controlled by only 5% of the people of the institution. So but in Waqf framework and Waqf Bank, we must look at also the distributive aspect of the Waqf, So this Waqf creation and distribution, wealth creation and distribution, in fact, is the pillar of our 5-year economic plan. When we first started the first 5 Malaysia plan, continuously up to the latest, we always focus on wealth creation and wealth distribution, meaning we are talking about expanding economic cakes and how to expand the economic cake and how to distribute fairly within the community. So it is part of the government actually a goal if the government were to adopt this Waqf framework, actually it is part of their goal in their 5 Malaysia plan. And as a result, I think the output will be the bank for shared prosperity. It doesn't matter the economic class, race, keturunan dan sebagainya. It's not a matter of concern. It is meant for everybody. And the other output is inclusivity. We are not talking about specific race, Bumi Putra. We are talking about the unfortunate. We want to distribute justice and fairness. So it involves all races in the country, and it has its universal value adopted in the Waqf concept. So we call it Waqf or endowment in that sense, you know, in our framework. And of all this effort is actually why we are doing it. When we first started to move this idea of Waqf Bank, we came out in a conference, and we actually managed to get more than 100 volunteers who say, I want to participate and give inputs and opinion for the development of the Waqf Bank. And all believe that they are doing it for one cause only. What is the cause is duty and obligation to Allah and the society. So that drive actually the start of the Waqf Bank concept within Malaysia. And we work on each other compassion to deliver this, rather than driven by money or benefits, monetary benefit. We are driven by belief in the faith of Allah and also contribution to the society. That drive our team until we actually managed to put the proposal to central bank in June. Probably we are, I don't want to claim, I do not know, but we are the only one probably not using all the big four. It's all written by normal people on the street from their heart. What they feel is right to have in the banking system is not written just from the logic of the concept, but also from the heart. So that's actually excite us from the development over the last 6 months. And of course, as I said in the past, is justice and fairness. I think this principle and values govern our concept of Waqf Bank. And this, if we put into the government goals, it meets very well with the government goal. Within the 5 Malaysia plan, I mentioned about wealth creation and wealth distribution. Talk about shared prosperity initiative within the 12 Malaysia plan. The economic empowerment, the environmental sustainability, and the social re-engineering of the society. So it fit very well within assisting the government to achieve its 12 Malaysia plan. And even in the 2021 budget, we believe that the government will start looking at philanthropy economy as one of big contribution to the GDP of the country. Because it is not new. Everybody knows how much percentage of wealth of the country are within the rich people. So I think we need to promote philanthropy economy for those who have achieved and who have the benefit from the government to create their wealth and to accumulate their wealth, is to contribute back to the society. So in the budget, we hope to see the government focus on the philanthropy economy, or Waqf endowment economy, you may want to call it. Within this, we would like to see that probably we will develop our own economic segment or a segmentation of the market based on Waqf concept. So we want to create a movement that Waqf sector will be the third sector in the contribution of a country economic growth and GDP. And after probably public sector, the GLCs, the GLICs, and so on, and the second sector with the private sector, the MNCs and the public listed companies. For us, probably it's a big hope for us to create a third sector. We call it the third Waqf sector to contribute to GDP growth. And we are looking forward and studying the National Waqf Master Plan of the government, whether it should be, we can fit to contribute to the Waqf Master Plan of the government. And of course, to continue with our present, if we are given the license, we want to see whether we can contribute to enhance banking sector Waqf programs, and even the strength of a banking sector from the concept of Waqf Bank. So I think these are things that that drive the Waqf Bank within the context of Malaysian economy. Next. So as you can see, this evolution of Waqf development in Malaysia. As you know, in the past, the Waqf institution are very disintegrated. Besides, we have the formal government state religious council, but there are other institutions, registered and unregistered, sekolah tahfiz, and many other things. So we started, and it's good. It is so at that time the community actually developed all this interest to use Waqf fund to develop the socio-economic sector of the country. And then I think we came in, and Majlis government, knowing that there are some groups, they are not responsible. So the government need to actually work out some framework for Waqf, and we have a legal framework restricts not to say the development of Waqf, to ensure security. And the government set up Yayasan Waqf. And then on the corporate side, there's a lot of, there are interests. I think the one of a known player, the late Tan Sri Ali, initiate a professional private organization like Yayasan Waqf, Awqaf Institution, and few others. So now I think we are in the fourth stage of development. So we have developed a stable corporate Waqf sector framework with the setup of private institution like Awqaf Holding, set by Tan Sri Ali, and then also the Johor Waqf Institution under a corporate Waqf under KPJ. So there are a few more corporate Waqf institutions being established in Malaysia. And so the next evolution is actually a Waqf institution in banking sector. And we are looking forward to see also the development Waqf concept within the cooperative sector. So our team actually are keen to move Waqf framework into two financial sector. One is the bank Waqf. Second is permodalan Waqf co-op. So we want to see that there is also a development of Waqf concept within cooperative sector, because cooperative sector is also quite a big sector where we have more than probably 5,000 institutional co-op and 5 million members probably. So it is good to see ideas being put into institutionalizing the banking sector and also the cooperative sector. So we have two projects now actually. We have put forward papers on the setting up of Waqf Bank to Central Bank through a consortium. I will not mention because we need to get approval from the board of the bank. So we are just an advisor. So we keep it anonymous a bit on the shareholding side. And on the second one is our initiative on the setting up Permodalan Waqaf Co-op Berhad. It is in the process of being registration now. So we are also going to develop a framework for Waqaf in cooperative sector, goals, objectives, structure, and so on. So for today, let's start on the banking sector. Maybe another good time we will look at the development of Waqaf in the co-op sector. So within the banking sector, there are 4 key issues. One is what concept? Is it FSA, very broad Islamic concept of Islamic finance, or a Waqaf concept which is a bit narrow within the context of IFSA license? Second, why is digital? I think because everything is digital now, the Bank Negara would like to see that the next 5 license be issued will be based on digital bank, meaning there's only one branch, one head office, no branches, and all run on digital platform. So technology play a big role in these new licenses to be issued by the bank. As you know, Bank Negara is going to issue 5 new licenses. So, but this does not disturb the existing banks. The existing bank can carry on their digital transformation program. So most of the banks do not actually want to create a new digital bank, so they did not apply for the license because they feel that they can go on their digital transformation within their own organization. So in fact, the financial sector are moving into digital banking. So technology will be the key that we need to create a platform for our Waqaf bank, because that is the requirement. And of course, the existing legal framework. Being a bank, you need to be regulated and licensed by Bank Negara. And there are 2 types of banks, as you know now. One is the bank Bafia. The other one is IFSA, Islamic Financial Services Act, under IFSA, So we are actually applying the license under IFSA, So and I will not go detail into those areas, but I want to touch a bit on the Waqaf concept that we were trying to instill here. I like to repeat and reinforce this value system. So Waqaf principles center in the shared prosperity that promote inclusivity irrespective of economic class, race, and religion, and will be effectively contribute to the nation's socio-economic development. I think that is key. And the application of the 5 principles of Maqasid Sharia, which is the human well-being, religion, life, intellect, lineage, and properties. And this actually govern our business concept. So the Maqasid Sharia will actually guide us in what business we will go in. What is the goal we want to achieve in the bank, for the bank? For example, we talk about protection of religion, because the base of all the human aspect within the bank, for example, I just take one concept. When we say religion, meaning that we want to instill all the staff of digital bank to have this strong commitment in the faith of Allah. So we believe one thing, I'll show you afterward. We believe that what makes Waqaf Bank strong later, or being competitive or having the cutting edge is not just technology, it's not just capital, it's the faith, which is not in any of the institution in other banks. So they are not driven by just money. They are driven by, we want to instill that they are driven by its duty to God. From the perspectives of the workers, the employees of the bank, the board of directors, the shareholders, the first pillar is actually faith, our faith. that drive our business. Then from there, we can see that all our activities will be related to this protection of life. Our financial assistance will narrow down into health, for example, building of hospital, yeah, in pharmaceutical sector. So for the protection of life, then protection of intellect. So we are talking about universities, financing students into the universities, education loan, and so on. Protection of lineage, keturunan. So the concept of everybody must have a house, affordable housing, is all the concept, and where we should focus in development of affordable housing rather than development of high-rise expensive building. And on socio-economics, on the property side, we will looking at more social micro business, and SMEs in the development of the socio-economic of the countries. So this is the key fundamentals of Waqf Bank. And we want to drive this, that the Waqf Bank, this is very strong goal and value that we want to drive. Waqf Bank is ummah-centered, not shareholder-centered. Even though we have individual shareholders as a beginning, but we want the shareholder to understand that whatever goal and business goal, it must be ummah-centered. So the issue of shareholder-centered taking over the benefit of the community, we will not have that problem. So this is one key that drive our operation of the bank. Even in the shareholdings, we would like to drive more people to own the bank. So people can waqaf 10 ringgit a month and become part of the mass shareholders of the bank. So we are not creating specific 2-3 big corporates to own a bank. Even though we started because we need time to gather the mass capitalization, but the 3 founder shareholders are very much inherit this belief that they should share the ownerships of the bank with the rest. And then and we hope that this will be shared by both local, the spirit of Waqf, locally, and the Muslim around the world. So next in terms of the second part of the bank, I think this is just a summary of the bank. Second blue, digital. So when you say digital, mean is a convergence of technology, telecommunication, and banking industry. So we are very much technology driven, using the latest technology. The business processes of the bank will be very much digital, on the digital platform, and including data, AI will be used very much, because we do not have branches. So we use less people. We'll be driven by AI and analytics. But we need to reach the wide reach for the unserved and underserved by geography. So this is done through the technology platform. So because of this, this bank, the digital bank, has a very good future, because we see that the cost to revenue ratio will be less because of the no branch, only one branch, less people, driven by technology. Our target is actually cost revenue ratio will be only 20/80, meaning 20% is the overhead. Compared to the current conventional banking, the efficient bank probably will have 40% cost revenue ratio. The less efficient bank will have even as high as 60% cost revenue ratio. So if the technology and the business objective or business strategy or business model is done properly, I think it is not difficult to achieve a cost revenue ratio of 20/80. And when we talk about once we digitalize the bank, we're looking for broader prospect of actually digitalizing the Waqf sector. You can see that the Waqf sector in the past, we are talking only basically property Waqf. And even property Waqf, we see that a lot in the past are Waqf untuk masjid, Waqf untuk tanah kubur, the graveyard. So if you talk about 20, 30, 40 years ago, our parents, great-grandparents, when they Waqf the land, specifically they say Waqf masjid ataupun Waqf tanah kubur graveyard. But now we have a lot more property, the Malay reserve land, you know, we can actually work out. And the bank can play its role to mobilize the fund to develop all these Waqf assets. So landed property. And then we can see that the corporate Waqf development has brought in the digitalization in equities, in commodities like gold and silver. We can even look at intellectual properties, patent and trademarks. So we are looking at not just property, we are looking at transforming or going into broader aspect of able to digitalize the other assets of the Muslim, even the non-Muslim, that has value, and build on the expansion on these assets, the new assets. So we are talking about to digitalize the digital cash and cryptocurrency. So you can see that even Waqf assets are actually transforming and growing and transforming itself, and getting new type of asset being looked into as a Waqf asset because of technology. Next. So when we talk about bank, by the time we say Waqf bank, the bank itself will create a lot of credibility. A lot of people now actually collecting infaq, sedekah without proper institution governing it or regulated by certain institution. So there are a lot of leakages, you know, misappropriation, mismanagement. So with the licensing of the bank under Bank Negara, we hope to create a very creditable organization to mobilize the Muslim fund. Yeah. So this can be mobilized through two ways. One is capital, one is deposit. Yeah. So capitalization, as I said, we would like to expand to all the Muslim. We even appreciate for a $5 contribution or $10 contribution, which is not possible if you talk about the conventional banking. So we talk about collection and mobilization of Waqf fund. We estimate probably to include government fund, you can have probably 70 billion of fund. Even Tabung Haji now, I think they have what, 90 billion since they're set up. So we have a lot of Muslim fund within the country, not yet including the foreign fund management. So then we talk about application. How do we apply this Waqf fund? There is a new development of new products. So by looking at Waqf approach, we are looking on refocusing our Islamic banking products, yeah, including takaful. Next, the distribution of profit. How we would like to have a guideline on distribution of profit to the community and to the shareholder, the registered shareholder. So these are principal framework that we put forward. We need to improve. We have to expand further during the process of implementation. But this is what it need to be governed, need to be looked at when differentiate us with us and the other IFSA banks. Yeah. So next. So this concept of Waqf Bank, hopefully, if we can do it in Malaysia, we would like to share this to the world. So if we can create global Waqf network. We heard there is one Waqf Bank done in Turkey 4 years ago, a Valentin Bank, Waqf Katilin Bank, Waqf Katilin Bank, funded by IDB, and they are one of the best performed Islamic bank in Turkey. I think they got prized to be the top Islamic bank in Turkey. But theirs is when we study their operation, they are more tailored with the Islamic banking concept now. The Waqf element is still limited, but they call themselves Waqf Bank, and they are the most successful. So what if we can share this with the world? We'll have Waqf Bank in Malaysia, Waqf Bank in Brunei, Waqf Bank in Dubai, you know. So we'll have a group of network of Waqf Bank all over the world. Then it will start from Malaysia. Next. I don't want to delve into this, but our hope and our vision is very strong. We want to be the pioneering establishment of a world first Waqf Bank, Waqf Islamic Digital Bank, because even Turkey is not digital bank. So we want to pioneer the establishment of world first Waqf Islamic Bank, where the principle of Waqf are combined with the technology as a catalyst for the revival of Islamic banking renaissance. I think Islamic banking has gone into a lull period in Malaysia for the past many years. So Dubai has taken over the rest, Saudi, you know. So now with this, we hope to revive that. Malaysia used to be the #1 in Islamic banking. So if we can rejuvenate the world Islamic civilization within Malaysia, as you know that Waqf is in Turkey, Egypt, are the one that is creating the Islamic civilization in the past, the Ottoman Empire. So let's revive this Islamic civilization, starting with the new Waqf Bank. Next. Objectives very clear, as I said. We want to establish third economic sector. So by doing this, we are creating a new way of differentiating the economic sector. You are having a faculty of Islamic economics. So we have been defining sectors by industries. We have been defining sectors by sizes, whether SME or corporate or institution. So we are defining all the past framework of economics by defining it and trying to put an indicator to achieve. So we hope that we can add on one more indicators input. We call it Waqf link sector. Waqf link sector means whoever have put their goal in their business objective on Waqf, we call them a Waqf link companies. If government are contributing their fund to us, we call it Waqf link government companies. If private sector, if individual who have sendiran berhad, they put there, say, I want to Waqf 10-20% of my shares into a Waqf organization. They are Waqf link companies. People who work with these companies, who actually share this, the individual, the workers, we call it Waqf link individual. School that come in and work, universities that work within the concept of the development and growth of spirit of Waqf, we call them Waqf link universities. School, we call it Waqf link students. So we want to see that the mind, the spirit, and the philosophy of Waqf is instilled in the young people to the top. And this initiative will be initiated through this Waqf Bank. So we will link up and with all these parties to develop the concept of Waqf in their companies in themselves. And we hope by combining this within 10 years, we can actually contribute 30% of the GDP, Malaysian GDP, our country's GDP from these sectors. Then, of course, I think we will promote self-reliance community through mobilization and utilization of community endowment and Waqf fund for socio-economic development, but inculcating Waqf mindset in saving and wealth creation culture for shared prosperity within the T20, M40, and B40 groups. To be one of the implementing vehicle for government plan Induk Waqf National mentioned in 9 and 11 Malaysia plan. To carry out the strategies toward unlocking the Waqf asset, especially the Malay, the Waqf asset and the Malay Reserve land. To act as a custodial institution for continuity and sustainability of Waqf owners, family trust, state trust. Example, Malaysia under the 10 mineral blueprint passed 3 months ago. Malaysia has drawn out a 10-year mineral plan. And surprisingly, the government aware that the contribution of mineral asset to the GDP of the country is going to be about 1.4 trillion in the next 10 years. So it's huge. But these mineral assets of the state governments are being given out probably to many parties. So we hope, we are selling now, we have put out our blueprint to request the state, at least we are working with one state now, to actually put aside 50% of the mineral assets of the state into a amanah warisan negeri for the future of the generation. And this will be developed and financed through the Waqf fund. Then we talk about PPP, private sector partnership. We would encourage that Waqf fund and Waqf institution work together, at least to look at the PPP project that relate to the community welfare. What are the sectors that relate to community welfare? Road, water, electricity, hospital, universities. If all these are put into a Waqf institution, like in the case of Egypt and Turkey during the Ottoman Empire, the concept of ummah centered, maybe we have less cost of toll, less cost of hospital fees, less cost of university fees. So we hope that under these sectors where there is a PPP, allocation are made to allow Waqf institution to participate actively to actually be the shareholder owner of this public utilities sector. This is mainly for future generation. And you need a bank or you need a financial institution that can mobilize the fund to finance all this project. And of course, the last is to promote innovation in Islamic finance through research, development, training, and digital Waqf for global reach. Okay. Next. So when we talk about our submission, Banagara said, what make applicant qualify? You must make sure that you are able to serve the unserved and underserved. So we define what is unserved market, what is underserved market. And within our own context and our own definition, we say, yeah, the unserved market are actually the small people, the socio-economic side, the microfinance, the micro business, the SME business. And we believe that the underserved and unserved, the socio-economic sector, probably half of it. Yeah. The individual who need education loan, who need housing loan to buy low-cost properties, and so on. And then we have the young sectors who need new technology in their e-commerce platform, for example, to buy, purchase, or the e-commerce platform, the small wallet accounts to serve this. Because as you know, that bank, when you want to open a current account, they say, okay, if you are not putting in 2,000, you are not able to open an account. So if you are centered with Ummah, you don't put all these preconditions. As long as they need services, we should help them because they will grow into a bigger customer. You don't just say, wait until you become big and then I will give you. These are actually the shortcomings that we are facing. If you go to a bank now, you say, I want a loan. They say, where is your 3-year financial statement? Right? They need a track record. So when are going to be this unserved and underserved to be served? So these are actually critical to the development of the nation. So the young sectors, we have two now. I divide into two. We coin our own word lah. The one really for economic activities. The other one is more, we call it delusional sector. We will probably not go into this lah. People who go for gaming, gambling, you know. There is a lot of technology also. There are a lot of banking requirement for this sector. So non-productive sector, we will not go. So we are going only to lifestyle, digital economy, e-commerce, without the non-productive sector and also socio-economic sectors. So the unserved in Malaysia, fortunately, we don't have many, probably 10%, because due to location, you know, they are too far from the internet and so on, or the uninformed group. But the biggest part is underserved. There is a big gap between banks' products and services offering against customer expectation, as I mentioned just now. For a small business want to go in, three-year statement. There's a gap there. Yeah. So you want to have a current account, you must have minimum balance of 2,000. If not, I will charge you a monthly. There is a gap there. Yeah. Now they're pushing everybody to go to the machine and there's so much lack of one-to-one consultation in the bank now. Yeah. Second is unprofitable customer defined by the bank. You know, as I mentioned just now, micro segment are neglected and migrant communities. I think these are the unserved sector. Okay, next. So the business, as I said, the business model start with the shareholding structure, where the Ummah led shareholders. We want to mobilize all individuals who have money, even 10 ringgit, to be a shareholder. We will have a model for this. Then we have a very strong technology. We have 4 partners who are providing the detailed technology. So Waqf Bank, in fact, Waqf Bank is actually, a digital bank is actually able to do all the things. Whether P2P, crowdfunding, fund management, everything can be done through the digital bank. So the ability to serve various channels and various licenses required are actually governed by the Waqf Bank. So it's so broad that we can do almost everything under the Waqf Bank. Next. I think these are the things that we define our own. I don't think anybody putting a proposal and look from this perspective. We know that 80% of the unserved and underserved need this. So for the first phase, we are talking about cross-selling of takaful. The fund base, we are looking at the microcredits and semi-loan. And the other side will be more fee-based. Payment gateway, platform, exchanges, and AI. And last is the investment-based income, the fund management side. So what we are defining is these are our sectors that we will be serving. So the outline area we define as a Waqf-linked institution. Whoever believe in Waqf in the program, or we have to have an education program to talk to them. By placing your extra fund in us, you are actually contributing to the community. And there be incentive. We are hoping to work with the incentive with the government. So we can mobilize the fund. So this is the one who is the source of funding. Government has a lot of fund under the Accountant General everywhere. There is a lot of unclaimed money. All this money actually can be put under the Waqf Mobilization Fund. So we will actually, just like halal brand lah. So the company will be given a halal brand. A Waqf brand. And there will be follow-up on benefits on this concept. So then we talk about Waqf linked cooperative. They also have a lot of source of funding and also source of capital. They can invest in our Waqf bank. And then whoever benefit from this Waqf, the Waqf link person or Waqf link employees, they will contribute 5 ringgit, 10 ringgit a month, and they have like a membership, they have access to many of the services. So this will be the underserved market. So all this market segmentation and business model will be tailor-made to this segment. With this, we will put them into what we call enterprise Waqf ecosystem. Yeah. So collection of Waqf, contribution of Waqf, distribution of Waqf, investment will be put into one called Waqf ecosystem. It both develop into a supply chain system, supply chain ecosystem to match between the contributor and the user. Next. So, is the market ready? You ask me, you ask us, we feel it's market ready. Public sector readiness through the budget 2021 and 12, the government is ready. They have outlined all the system. We just to be there and actually become one of their implementation platform. Second, there is a lot of unregistered and registered institution, masjid, surau. There are 20,000 masjid all around Malaysia that is collecting every day and every Jumaat prayer, like today, collecting 2,000, 3,000 per week, some as high as 20,000. These are our biggest customer base to put in a Waqf bank. And they know where they put. So our estimate based on our finding is 44,000 institution at least. Then there are 10 million contributors to zakat from the Muslim community. Even wilayah alone, 2019, 339,000 distributors. Why can't they be a customer of Waqf bank? Yeah. Number 4, government private initiative or the private Waqf asset. I estimate 70 billion to be developed. Not yet trademark, patent, and so on. Yeah. So we can finance project like infrastructure, universities, healthcare, and so on. 70 billion market in the next 5 years, we estimate. We will not be short of financing. And we work with, for example, we work with Karangkraf. Karangkraf led a project called Quranic Hours. Yeah, I think you know the Quranic Hour. They implement Quranic Hour 2 days in a week. You know, people are reading Quran, knowing the message of the Quran, and so on. You know, and you know how many followers they have now? Over 2 years, 9.4 million, local and overseas. And what they did, some of them contribute 2 ringgit, 5 ringgit. For what? Just to contribute for Quran, to buy Quran. So to date, the Yayasan and the Karangkraf has collected 16 million for people who want to give money so that they can buy Quran and distribute to the world. to the countries who have no Quran, to the Muslim are short of Quran. And this 9.4 million who are contributing, who are not being forced to contribute, willingly contribute to just the cost of buying Quran. What if we say, can you contribute 10 ringgit a month to a Waqf bank capital? 10 ringgit a month. Dr. Ali, if I ask you, can you put 10 ringgit a month into Waqf bank capital?
Yes, inshallah, I can.
So in a month, based on this 9.4 million, we can collect 94 million a month to capitalize the bank. In 1 year, the bank can be capitalized up to 1.2 billion. 10 years, it will be 10 billion. This will be the biggest bank in the world. I mean, in Malaysia, not in the world, but in Malaysia at least. Because the bank is not being funded just through issue of shares by right issue or new issues, but continuously every month or every day we'll be collecting money, then we will actually capitalize it. So we see that the capital strength of the bank will be stronger than any other bank, because this bank is driven by capital base rather than just collect deposit base. So when we put this proposition, if we really go to the markets, 16 million working population contribute 10 ringgit a month, how many billion of capital we can mobilize? Then we can actually lend money on Qadrul Hasan. Now bank cannot do Qadrul Hasan because they are based on deposit. So they want to see the return on the fund. And I think with this individual drive that is done by people, we can see that Malaysian has already Waqf mindset already. They are willing to contribute. What more to know that this is going to be the impetus to the Islamic mobilization of fund. And we can see that the Waqf institution, like as I said, in Istanbul, the Waqf Katilimba has shown the track record. So all these factors put forward, I believe that Malaysia is ready to have as a Waqf bank, to drive the Waqf bank. Next. So these are probably a key success factor, as I said. What will be the value proposition of the Waqf bank to the country? I believe that 10 million Waqf savers is not difficult out of 36 million population. Even student at school can contribute 1 ringgit deposit. We will accept any deposit. We will not be selective. We will try to develop them from small, how to save. So we target 10 million Waqf savers in next probably 10 years. Minimum of 10 billion mobilization of fund. We look at the unserved and the unserved of B40. So we told the government, you give this license, that is a legacy to the government to be the first in the world. 10,000 affordable houses, for example. Who wants to develop 200,000, 150,000 houses if they have profit objective purely? Waqf bank can only do that. University student, university funding, we target 50,000 students for the first 5 years. We want to fund 30,000 Waqf link companies. We want to get into financing infrastructure projects, basic facilities, water, energy, school, universities, hospital. Financing of countries' heritage, such as mineral, oil and gas, for the future generation. Who can drive this? Only with the heart of Waqf can drive this. Global trade facilitation. I just did a discussion with 8 countries under the 8 countries secretariat in Istanbul. Out of 100 over OIC countries, I just focused 8 countries, which is Egypt, Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Nigeria. 8 countries. We call, they call themselves D8 countries. We told them, can we put a trade facilitation settlement within the Waqf Bank, both in here and Labuan? The total trade among these 8 countries are 100 billion US, just 8 countries. Why can't we actually do a trade settlement ourselves without going to SWIFT? With the cryptocurrencies and with the blockchain platform, we don't need SWIFT. We just build a hub to hub. We can have one hub Malaysia, one hub in Kunming, China. Ali, your home, you know. We put one hub in Kunming, one hub in Malaysia, one hub in Turkey, one hub in Dubai. Then we can do our trade settlement without going to SWIFT. 100 billion, just 8 countries, not yet OIC countries. And our proposal is well received. I think they are looking at it. Then we talk about the unlocking, as I mentioned, the potential Waqf asset of 70 billion. With this, I think we rejuvenate Islamic banking framework, not just for us, for the world. We're talking about, as I said, 10 ringgit a month for individual. I think we can collect 3 billion, 3 billion capital just within next 2 years, 3 years. So next. And somebody asked me, how can you make it happen? Concept is good. How do you make it happen? I said, if everybody believe in one at the center, thing will happen. I said the main competitive edge of Waqf Bank, if we are the only one, the main competitive edge is not technology, it's not just capital, it's faith in Allah. The employees, all of us, the customers, the depositors, the contributors believe that 10 ringgit will bring them not just for the world, but after world. Because Waqf, as I mentioned, is inclusivity and perpetuity. I put 10 ringgit in Waqf Bank as capital or 100 ringgit as a deposit. It goes far into financing and developing the socio-economics, giving the community services. And the dividend is not just world dividend, it's after world dividend. Don't worry, when you are over 60 like me, when you ask, do you want a dividend from your investment? I said, yes. But where? Not only here, but only after the world, afterward. So by going into this, you have perpetual dividend. Your children will not contribute anymore when you are in the next world. But inshallah, whatever you put in a Waqf institution, that dividend will be declared. So this strong faith in Allah, whether you contribute in money, you contribute professionalism, like say you come in and sign with us and contribute the development of Waqf Bank, even your skill, we would like to have Waqf skill, you know, to be contributed to us, to development. So we believe that this differentiation in faith in Allah will drive whatever we do successfully. Definitely we have chose a good board of directors, probably strong governance structure. Talent we have there. We have a lot of talents there. I think 100 people that came in to contribute. They are dreamers, they are strategists, they are academicians, they are doers that come in to say, I want to contribute to Bank Waqf. Even before we have anything, when we do doing the paper, we have 200 people are contributing when we engage willingly. So how not to feel that you are going to be successful? Because people are coming willingly to contribute. Number three, we have got the founding members who have confirmed with 100 million, but we will open up to retail now. Once we get the license, we will actually do the retail. I think the proven track record is there on Waqf players in Malaysia. All are related to us. We have good technology strategy partners. I will not mention further. Then we have good business advantage model that we have developed. As I told you, we created this new brand called Waqf Link, which never appears in any business model. This Waqf Link, because Waqf Link is God's link. So business and financial model have been validated. We have been rated by Mark. Next. These are deliverables. I don't want to repeat. I think this is what we want to achieve. Islamic Digital Waqf Bank led to Islamic philosophy that we want to achieve. Thanks. So these are shareholders. We invite religious body to be our state religious body to be our shareholders, Waqf organization, family trust. Malaysia, we see that we do not yet believe strongly on family trust. So now we want to promote family trust under Waqf Bank to bring in so that continuity in the family heritage. You know, we have met GLCs to invite them. We even talk to international parties to be part of us, IDB. So these are people, and then we, as I told you, we have registered in the process of registration called Permodalan Waqf Co-op Berhad. That's where we want to collect 10 ringgit, 5 ringgit, 2 ringgit to put in a co-op. And then this co-op represent the masses in the direction of the bank. So the corporate co-op Waqf Bank will actually become part of the shareholder of the Waqf Digital Bank and also their own projects. Next. Next. So we have business model. I won't go detail. I think I just show you that we actually always have the framework behind each what we want to do. If we have a product framework, there must be pillars behind the product, what you want to achieve. If there is a business model, there must be a pillars behind the business model. So there is always justification in whatever we do. There's always development business building block behind. Okay, next. So you can see that these are the building block behind each of our business model. Next. Next. These are products that we are going to probably existing some of the IFIC products, some are totally new products. When we get the profit, how we're going to distribute, which when, dividend, how much goes to the shareholders, how much goes to the reinvestment, how much go to community service. You can see targeted return 25 return on equity over 5 years. So Waqf is not losing concern. It's going to be profitable concern. So Waqf Digital Bank, we contribute to promotion of global trade, creation of Waqf linked companies, socio-economic development, serving the unserved and the underserved market. We digitalize the assets, Waqf asset. We rejuvenate Islamic banking industry. This is where we want to sign up with UIE, your research one, because this determines the rejuvenation and development of the future Waqf Bank businesses. We need a chair to actually do all this together with us. So to rejuvenate Islamic banking industry. And of course, GDP contribution to the government, which is we target 50 billion contribution to the GDP. Next. Then we want to reinstate Waqf-led Islamic finance model to promote global Waqf movement. That's where training, consultancy, research, and innovation. If Ali, your school, your faculty is interested, this I think you can play a role here. To promote research and development activities in the technology sector, particularly in fintech, e-commerce, healthcare, education, energy. Promote innovation in Islamic finance product by leveraging on the current and future technology to produce leaders who can steer the organization and the society in ever-changing environment. To promote culture that is closely in touch with the society by promoting values which contribute to the nation's socio-economic development. The criteria for board members. Next. And management. License application framework, the risk, capitalization, everything is need to be looked at for any banks. Next. So I think the rest I just will not go further. Then these are the legal framework. Next. The revenue component. Next. We have activated this program for the active Minda Waqaf with Karangkraf. We call it Active Kan Minda Waqaf. So the education process has started. So every week, every month, now being done, and I was taken by Dr. Dao's statement. Wakaf adalah satu instrumen yang hidup, memerlukan minda yang hidup, dan memerlukan kepada ulama yang hidup. Because with the spirit of wakaf, the application of wakaf, and the practices of wakaf is far-reaching, and I believe totally with Dr. Dao. Legal framework should not restrict. Legal framework should actually promote the expansion of wakaf mind in any aspect of our life. Next. So we have discussion. We appear in Al Hijrah. We appear in online. We appear in Facebook. We have already a promotion campaign just for education, to educate the public. If ever the bank come through, I hope that they will actually understand what we want to do. So I think that's probably the end of my presentation. I have a lot more, but I think I don't want to bore you. I think today is much more of a discussion and engagement to contribute ideas and more input into the development, inshallah, if we are given the license.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you for Dato Nick's sharing session. It's like a early Juma khutbah, sharing with us the spiritual foundation of the Waqf Islamic Bank. Inshallah, we pray for your Waqf Islamic digital bank license to be approved, and we pray that our Waqf Islam Bank will successfully promote the prosperity of the society. Okay. Without further ado, because today is Jummah, we welcome the floor to give their input or raise their questions regarding this topic.
Okay.
I have a question.
Assalamualaikum. Okay, we go for student first, eh?
Okay, sure. Please feel free to ask your question.
Sorry, my screen was hanged just now. So I have a question. Since the law states that Waqf is managed and also whatever funds come is owned by Majlis Agama. So what happened? Sorry, internet problem. Sorry, if the Waqf bank is realized, will this bank be owned by Majlis Agama?
Okay. I think there are two parts that we have to look at this. When you talk about the legal framework, I'm not an expert in legal framework. I try to avoid this because when I have engagement with 60 participants from Majlis Agama, I get into trouble. But within the context of Majlis Agama, because religious matter is under the Sultan and Majlis Agama, two things that we are being probably governed with. One is the collection of Waqf fund. Okay, the collection of Waqf fund, definitely the mutawali, you have to get approval from the Majlis Agama, right? So to collect Waqf fund, yeah, you need to get Majlis Agama to authorize you. So once you are authorized, you are collecting on behalf of the fund for the state where you are collecting. That's a requirement. And when you want to do that, you have to get approval. Okay. Okay. So that is the practical aspect of the legal framework. You must also understand that even the state of Majlis Agama, even us in the country, with the technology, we have problems now. How to control this? Because it's a law of the country. But people are collecting money from everywhere in the world, from every center of the world, in every form of money. People are collecting crypto coin. Does it govern under Waqf? For example, I ask. So the challenges of the present authority on this, there are many ways. So we don't want to get into saying that we contravene the law to collect. Our Waqf bank is basically the spirit. We are not talking about the law aspect. We are talking about the spirit of Waqf and the practices of Waqf mind, Waqf philosophy. We are not talking about authority to collect money for Waqf. People are actually putting deposit in the bank. Is that Waqf? No, it's a deposit account. If people are subscribing 10 ringgit to the capital of the bank under the co-op, is there a Waqf collection? No, it's not. It's an equity base. So there are things that we see our way that the instrument used are not collection of Waqf for that particular purpose. There are an equity-based instrument. There are, but when we make profit, the portion of the profit we have to give to Majlis, our contribution of Waqf. Yeah. So I think we are still engaging with Majlis, religious bodies, to see where we can actually have a common goal to develop and mobilize the fund, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. Yeah. So all of us must put aside the framework, come to the table and talk. Where do we want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? This is a new world outside there, where we can have a win-win situation. That's, I think, our approach. We are not going to go on engaging a fight over the legal issues and the rest. We are more interested in the spirit of Waqf, the philosophy of Waqf. Thank you.
I have the questions, Dato. I am Dr. Muhammad Asmi. Currently is a head of department. Sorry, my video is not on. I'm not sure why. Okay, anyway, Dato, regarding it's very interesting to see your topics, which is bank Waqf. Okay. I also we have our own team which are engaging with the research in Waqf as well. We try to integrate Waqf with the crowdfunding, okay, Waqf with the healthcare and so many things. But our level is just to propose. But whenever we bring our model or any framework to the industry, okay, the first question I may ask you, okay, what is my benefit for me? How it can be commercialized? So you see the mentality of the outside there. Okay, still they go for the commercialized purpose. although we are saying that Waqf is a charity based and it's Islamic instrument, but it comes to the industry people outside there, the first thing come to their mind is how it can be commercialized. Itu je. So, and then like you said, you are establishing bank Waqf. Okay, how you manage to convince the management, top management, okay, even until you want to get the approval, what are the kind of the challenges you face basically? Because I know it's not easy. Recently, like you said, Felda also just 2 days ago become the Mutawali. Just get the title of the Mutawali after many years. They're waiting. So these are some of the challenges. So for your model, okay, what might the challenges? How you cope with all this kind of the pressure? Yeah, it can be political, it can be from the industry people, and so on. Thank you.
This is something that everything have challenges. I think every day we are facing challenges. Is how serious and how difficult it is. I think all of goes through this life with the challenges, and the only put us in a sound mind is always faith in Allah. I mean, without faith in Allah, I think we all go bonkers already after many few problems that we have. So, so the faith in Allah actually give us, even without Waqf Bank also, we have been going through many problems. What keeps us sane is actually faith in Allah. Whatever we do, we must do it with the reason that is for Him. His amanah, His amanah. So if people who do not believe, we are not going to force. We only pray that one day God open their heart and say, okay, they accept us. If people who do not believe, continuous education must be there. But I think for the will of Allah, I think it will open the heart. For example, as I mentioned, can you imagine when Karangcraft started Quranic Hour 2 years ago?
Yep.
Do people believe that they will get 9.4 million followers? And people believe that they can collect 16 to 17 million of $2, 1 ringgit from the old ladies who are following? If not for the will of Allah.
Yes.
I think that is the first that all of us who are doing this, that hold strongly to this. We know challenges are there. But there are at least 5 or 10% who are able to actually understand to achieve this. And when we started this, 200 people came and contribute time and money and brain with us. Did we ask anything from them? It's out just 2 webinars that we have. They came to us. So and when we started this, we have problem because we know that to come up with a commitment of 100 million paid up capital is impossible to get from the mass. But thankful that we have 3 or 4 institutions, 3 or 4 corporate guys who said, I will contribute for the 100 million. But I'm willing to reduce my shares when you are able to collect the capital from the retail. I didn't expect this to happen, if not for the will of Allah. So when we were desperate, we were only having 2 months to come up with commitment of the shareholders 100 million. 1 or 2 yayasan declined us. A few are saying that we have to get time to approve, to debate on this. I do not want to say anything. I think they have their own internal matters. But the will of Allah, I think if Allah wants it to happen, this bank Waqf, it will happen. And fortunately, suddenly 3 of them say, okay, if the rest do not want to come, temporarily I come in. And we got it rated and we got it done, 100 million, within 2 months.
Allah.
So I didn't expect that. Subhanallah. I mean, we must believe in the faith of Allah. I mean, challenges are there. But as you know, like, we all believe that even in the cost that we die, we have done our best. If Waqf Bank do not materialize, also I think our obligation and duty has been done. All of us, the 200 people with me, I said, if it doesn't happen, I think for us 200 people is done. It's done. Our role is done. Even when we wrote to the government, we wrote to the we wrote to the Prime Minister, we wrote to the Minister, we said, we are doing this. I think we are not the source of power. You are a source of power. You are orang kata punca kuasa dengan you. So you want to give punca kuasa dengan you. I cannot say that. I cannot say, I do not want to say reason. You must have reason. But all of them said, no, it's true that we need a Waqf bank. Surprisingly. In principle, the government feels that this country probably good to have a Waqf bank. So in concept, they agree with it.
You reject us, you reject what tu?
Yeah.
You reject us, you reject who?
So in the letter, I said, you don't reject us. We are not frustrated. We are not disappointed. You reject us. You are not rejecting us. You are rejecting Quran and Sunnah. That's all. Doctor?
Thank you, Dato, for your answer, inshallah.
Okay, Dato Nick, there's one question from Dr. Mayuti. Says non-productive is equals to delusional sector.
Yeah.
So delusional sector, why it is a non-productive sector?
We call it delusional. I think get people so carried away, wasting the times.
Doesn't mean that like alcohol, gaming, all these industries, haram industries are all called as non-productive industries, right?
Yeah. First is gaming for the sake of gambling. So it's one outside lah. We cannot do that, because there are people who are actually applying the license for wallet just to facilitate gaming, and that is, we call it delusional to us. We don't want to get involved. So now the young people are coming after me, even my staff coming after me. They say, hey, why can't you finance the development of games? Because now all the kids are playing game. It train your mind, it train your responses. So I have difficulty in answering that, But I'm not saying that it's haram. But I'm saying that in priority, would I finance high-tech technology agriculture than a gaming sector, for example, would I finance road and railway? Because funds are limited, how do you actually allocate funds? So you have to prioritize your activities. So in the implementation of the bank, you have to prioritize your services that you want to offer. That is my view. So when you prioritize, which one is giving the best output to the community? I wouldn't buy financing a sector, gaming sector, which relate to education. Yeah. So I don't mind putting in contents for education. Right? We are doing one now. We are doing for our online education. We are developing contents for education. So anything relate to yang tu lah kata maqasid syariah, as long as relate to the intellectual development of intellectual intellect. So under intellect, what are the priorities? That is my only answer. It's
Okay.
prioritization. Yeah.
Okay, I have some question regarding the business model on this Waqf Islamic Digital Bank. First, it is not a purely banking institute, right? As you mentioned in the presentation that it will have a P2P crowdfunding aspect, you have a private equity aspect, you have a Qatar Hassan loan aspect. So it is not a purely banking institute, right?
No, I think from the perspective of financial market, I think it's a very thin line now between what is banking business, what is insurance business, what is non-banking business. So I think the digitalization has bring down all these walls now, and you can see that we put there the bank will actually be involved in the technology side, which is the platform. So platform are used to deliver services, right? So be it crowdfunding platform, be it a P2P platform, be the traditional platform. These are platforms to deliver services, be it insurance services, be it loan services, be it payment services. It's all based on technology platform. So between P2P is governed by Security Commission, governed by Bank Negara. As you know, what happened now? In Indonesia, last 2 weeks, the government came out and restrict now, putting a stop to technology company that is going into money lending. What happened actually? The government govern money lending in terms of limit, in terms of numbers, in terms they limit. But when they limit under the law, then suddenly it appears that platform business. So platform business came in and said, we are technology company, we are not money lending company. So you can see that a lot of money lending companies now go into technology, funding technology. The gray market's money going into technology. It's so thin that it's difficult to actually develop. Some of the money lenders are now trying to get into a technology business in money lending and become a unicorn, going to New York Stock Exchange or to NASDAQ to register. The government cannot stop. Yeah. So I don't know, Ali. Maybe I don't know whether I answered your question, but what I'm saying is technology has made it very thin to separate the services. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Dato. There is another question from Dr. Nizam. Says, if the capital is equity based and the deposit is treated as ordinary deposit, then what is being contributed as Waqf to the Waqf bank?
Okay. This is very interesting. This is very much something to your center to debate. Because when it comes to Waqf, so some Waqf are perpetuity, meaning I give the Waqf is up to you, forever you use. Yeah. In some mazhab, they allow term Waqf. Right? For example, I come to the bank and say, I have 1 million ringgit. I'm not using it yet. So can I place this 1 million to you as a time deposit in the old context of old banking, conventional banking? I come to you and say, I want a fixed deposit rate of 1%. I mean, 1 year, conventional banking. Now this guy said, I want a Waqf bank. I give you 1 million as terminal Waqf. Term. Okay. So the dividend or whatever I get from my 1 million, probably I want 50% to be returned back to me, 50% to be Waqf out. So where is the line between deposit and capital within the concept of Waqf? And within the concept of term Waqf allowed by certain mazhab? I still thinking about it. So my answer is back with a question to you. So where is the thin line between deposit and capital in terms of term Waqf? After 3 years, I want it back, my principal. Is it allowed under certain mazhab on the term Waqf? Which I was told, I'm not an expert, they say there are such thing as term Waqf. So these are subject to further debates. And even when I'm start talking to the accounting side, the accounting firm, how do I address this? How I address my capital? How I address my Islamic lending? They don't want to call it loan lah. Islamic finance, Islamic finance. How do I classify within the context of the accounting standards? So this is again another areas that we are working on.
Okay, thank you, Dato. I think this one will be, we were inshallah working on this with the Islamic Economic Center to address the issue of capital versus the deposit basis. Okay, I want to extend the question from Dr. Asmi. He mentioned about why the challenges we are facing when we want to develop the Waqf model. Okay, you see this as you addressed this bank, Waqf Islamic Bank, will be faith-based banking system, banking institute. So I assume it is the foundation is faith-driven. And when we are using faith as the criteria to make decisions, will it affect the efficiency and the profitability of the banking institute? If that is the criteria of the conventional, then the Waqf bank, well, we are using different performance index, for example, like how many poor family we have helped, how many of the kids already completed the university. Are we using different set of criteria?
I will answer that from the time I start working with the bank before. I started working in the bank in 1975, I think 75. When I started with the bank, I was in the credit department. Yeah. So when I was in credit department, when I prepare papers, the credit department, when I prepare papers for approval of the loan, there is always one part of the paper that I need to address. Besides its profitable, liquidity, cash flow, repayment capability, all those forces taken care, you know. But at that time, Maybank, I was working with Maybank. Maybank insists that I put, there is one column saying that this business is going to employ how many people? This business is now going to go on profitability, how taxable income. At that time, the concept of banking was this concept of not just you, it's also the government, the country, and the nation. So when they say priority sector, they will say, okay, how much contribution of this business that you're creating towards the nation building? That was always part of the component of credit evaluation during that time, but that has been lost now. For what reason? I don't know. Because if you look from the collective angle, whatever business you do, the nation prosperity comes first. When nation prosper, your business prosper, right? Your business prosper, you individual prosper. But the element of that has lost. We always say that which is my prosperity first. If I can cheat the government on tax, I will cheat forever. Is that what we want to promote under the Islamic banking or Islamic finance? I'm not too sure. So these are things that we ourselves need to actually believe.
Okay, understood, Dato. Thank you. Any other questions from the floor?
I do have another question, if it's all right with you, Dato.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard that Bank Muamalat, so they are now managing Waqf funds on behalf of Majlis Agama. So is this new bank going to have the same model as Bank Muamalat?
I'm saying that what Muamalat has done a very good thing they have done during that results time. I think they have done and promote this Waqf concept in the management of Waqf fund, and also a distribution of Waqf, collection of Waqf, sorry. But I think you must look beyond that. What more can you do on the spirit and the mind of Waqf? Okay, so when you say, are you going to follow Muamalat? I say, we appreciate what they've done. We would do the same. But on top of that, we would like to expand the spirit of Waqf in whatever activities we do, not just collection of wakaf, not just management of wakaf fund. That's my answer. A lot more. There's a lot more. Once you have the spirit and the mind of wakaf in you, you can apply to many areas, both social and economics. Yeah.
I see, Dato. Thank you. Can I also add one more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. So Dato, just now you mentioned that the shareholders could also become from Majlis Agama, but how would that affect Majlis Agama's role that is appointed by law as the sole trustee and that manages Waqaf funds?
Okay. I think for an institution like Majlis Agama, when they receive zakat, they have to spend. Zakat is not wakaf. When they receive zakat, they have to spend the same year, right? They cannot take over and hold for other purpose except for the social purposes. They have to spend all zakat money. Sepatutnya lah dalam collection and distribution of zakat. But wakaf is voluntary. They can take the money, they can spend some for wakaf, they can actually, depending on what type of wakaf when the contributor give. If the contributor give to specific, then they have to specific. If not specific, they can actually use it for investment, they can use it for regeneration of profit, they can use for expenses, for stated as by the wakafers, I call it. They can do that. So wakaf is more broader in aspect, broader than zakat. So they can invest using wakaf fund if is general wakaf lah. Dia orang bagi duit kata you can use whatever you want. So they can actually use for other things. But zakat dia tak boleh. So we are not talking about zakat here. We are talking about wakaf. We are talking about wakaf, we are talking about infak, we are talking about sedekah. Because kalau kita tengok pun dalam tak silap saya dalam Quran tak ada sebut spesifik wakaf. There is more words like sedekah and infak dalam Quran kan. Kalau tak silap saya lah. Yeah. So we always try to actually put this together, infak, wakaf dengan sedekah in one component of you can use it for multi purpose untuk ini. Kalau I'm wrong, please correct me.
Any other comments from the floor? Oh, if no, then I will.
I just want to tell you, it's very interesting. When we talk about Islamic finance now, Ali, we always have, because the issue now, there's two debate on Islamic finance. Certain school or certain countries say Islamic finance, your Islamic finance is not Islamic. My Islamic finance is more Islamic, you know. So there is a lot of debates, yeah. Saudi say different, we say we are more liberal, you know. So there is a lot of things that is coming to an engagement like that, you know. So it's interesting how Islamic finance framework has developed from these differences in your mind. So to expand on Islamic finance, you know.
Yes.
Wakaf, there is a lot of hindrance. There was a lot of a lot of interpretation. But you know, finally the common goals should prevail. But there is always this doubt that if Islamic finance in Malaysia is more mirrored toward conventional finance, you know, whether you create suku or whatever, it's always look at the basis of conventional. Then you try to find ways on how to make it justified within the Islamic framework. But it's interesting. I was reading one paragraph in the Quran, 275 Surah Al-Baqarah. I just put Malay interpretation lah. Orang-orang yang memakan riba tidak dapat berdiri melainkan seperti berdirinya orang yang dimasuki syaitan kerana gila. So they say people who take riba is just like being influenced by syaitan, like a madman lah, yeah. Yang demikian ini kerana mereka berkata bahawa adalah sama jual beli dan riba. Padahal Allah telah menghalalkan jual beli dan mengharamkan riba. Can you see that particular statement? It's very interesting. People who read it say, oh, you come up with a product, you say it's sales and buyback. And then you see Islamic because they underline asset. Some people who are against it say, you see, Allah Ta'ala said, you don't try to interpret riba as though you are doing jual beli, trading. So things like that are actually interesting to look at how we interpret our product Islamic finance. I was scared when I was looking at that. Did I try to justify my loan on sales on trading, trading asset? I don't buy and sell kelapa sawit, but just to justify my loan, I go and do a create underline transaction of kelapa sawit. For example, is that mean particular relate to this verse? So it give me some worry line, because we used to say that okay, we must make sales and buyback, under the tawarruk. But that tawarruk, is it what is meant in this 275 verse in the Quran? So I was wondering lah, but I'm not ahli translate. But when he say specifically jual beli and riba is the same, but some people Allah say no, it's not. So it gives me some thought. Tawarruk, what will happen is tawarruk, because as you know that most part of our banking, Islamic banking, is tawarruk now. Asset, Islamic asset, I think quite a large portion are tawarruk. Over 90% is tawarruk. But this verse, how does it comprehend? I leave to your Islamic economics expert. 275, verse 275 in Al-Baqarah.
Then it triggered me another question that you see, you mentioned about trading settlement through cryptocurrencies. Are you going to buy and selling it to do the settlement, or is just It's just a cancel out? Or is there any real transaction going on?
I think for the purpose of efficiency and benefit to the consumer, the first set off is good, and then only the difference are paid through cryptos. But to do this, you must have two settlement bank of each country. Let's say if I do with Turkey, there'll be one hub in Turkey that set off between importer and exporter in Turkey, and then Malaysia, the reciprocal side, we also have importer exporter with Turkey. Then we do the settlement in ringgit here. Then the next settlement will happen in crypto.
Okay,
that will be the best. It can be done. That will be the best.
The crypto will be asset based, or it's just
our plan is gold based.
Gold based.
Gold back.
Gold based crypto. Okay.
Yeah, gold back.
Another participant comment: sell and back is not tawarruk. Sell and back is not tawarruk.
That's why I want to know when I shoot this verse. Do not mistaken jual beli with, I don't know whether tawarruk or whatever Islamic product. But the question is, the issue is in the Quran do not state anything. They say jual beli should not be confused as, jual beli should not be what is the word? What they kata? Yang demikian kerana mereka berkata, we say bahawa sama jual beli dengan riba. Yang tu ada the word sama jual beli dengan riba. That word that concern me a bit lah. We interpret jual beli and riba as riba as jual beli. So I'm a bit worried about that.
And maybe this is a last question. Another participant is asking, when can we start this bank? We can settle the difference in the future. Yes.
It is under Bank Negara. We do not know when Bank Negara will decide. Probably first quarter of next year, based on the report.
Inshallah, we pray for your license to be approved. Since today is a Friday, is a Jummah prayer, I will not drag this session to be
Yes,
longer.
Dr. Ali, just yeah, Dr. Ali, if I may just, I don't have any questions. I just want to appreciate, acknowledge. Boleh?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dato. Dato Nick. I think it was a wonderful, useful session. I just want to acknowledge and also just to point out two things. Number one, with regard to our students, when we teach them Waqf, usually at the end of the day they ask us back, sir, how we are going to apply this in our real life. When we go back to industry, how we are going to relate it. So this is the fundamental question all the time when we teach them this, like the Waqf. So I think now I really appreciate Dato doing this, bringing this Waqf bank. I think it is something, there is many things to relate, and in future students are going to get most probably some internship opportunities. So this is what actually we can work together on this. The second thing is for the public, as we know that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, خير ما يخلف الرجل من بعده ثلاث ولد صالح يدعو له وصدقة تجري يبلغ أجره وعلم يعمل به. So these are the three things. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said the best of what a man leaves behind are three. The first one is actually the righteous child who supplicates for him. The second thing is actually ongoing charity. This is where referring to Waqaf. Number three is the knowledge, the ilm. I think we have many, mashallah, people, rich people working. They need to know this kind of mechanism whereby, they can actually invest something for their akhirah. It is not easy thing to do. Usually you can do sadaqah, but you will get the reward immediately. But when you go for Waqaf, this is how we want to see the investment even after you die. So it has to multiply. This is something that I want to have my own family business, and I want to see the profit. It's not that easy. My children may do or may not do. So this is something that I want to keep my akhirah open. I think this is a very good venture for every one of us to do this. I think you opened it for us. Hopefully in future we work together and inshallah we develop, and inshallah we will be in touch. Thank you very much, Dato, for coming and accepting this, deliver this talk. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the department and all, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we end up this session with the Surah Nas.
Okay.
Thank you again to Nick for coming in. Inshallah, I will discuss with our head of the department to explore further with Mr. Razak on how we can work on the Waqaf mechanism and the Waqaf model.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah we can.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum.